Only Leeds Bros show.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Only Leeds Bros. Hope everybody is keeping and doing well. Hope everybody is having a great Monday. We're joined by the brother Dylan and also our third brother Joe B. Joe B, how are you? Thanks for coming on and having a chat with us.
All right. I'm doing pretty well. Looking forward to a bit of a natter. I've been completely out of the loop today, so all I've heard from you is you want to have a bit of a chat about Jack Harrison. I was like, always, I like complaining about people I don't like very much. So let's go for it. Yeah.
Let's get into it. Before we do get into it, Joe, we've got something to plug. We'll let you take it away with this because you're the man for the job.
Oh God. So to plug, we have the Leeds Creator Cup coming up on the 20th of July. It's going to be at the John Charles Centre for Sport, kicking off at probably 2 p.m. ish. You can see all of the Leeds United creators that you could possibly think of playing a game of football against one another, except the ones that are injured. But they've let me know that they're injured and unavailable, which is we are an increasingly sort of breaking down bunch of people, but I'm glad that we've got enough of us together for a match. We do have some new signings to announce at some point soon, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to save that for. I'm going to keep it just up my sleeve for a little bit.
Yeah,
but it'll be a great time. Tickets £7, kids tickets are £3. Get them as soon as possible, and you'll help us to organise things. Also, you can be a steward if you want and get in for free. So, yeah, just
everyone wants to be a steward now.
There we go.
Love that. Yes, what Joe said, it's going to be a great day, guys. All in aid and prostate cancer UK. So if you're not going to be out on the 20th of July, it's going to be a great day out. You're doing face painting and all that as well, Joe, isn't it, for kids and a couple of activities and all that, isn't it?
The thing with that one is Joe suggested it, and I think Joe plugged it once, and it seems to have become a thing that we're doing face painting, and now I'm kind of like, damn it, now I've got to try and find someone that'll happily do face painting. Oh dear.
Dylan will do it. Dylan pointing.
Well, I knew my name. I knew my name was going to be thrown in the hat straight away. I can't even draw a straight line, lads. I'm doing a bit of face painting.
I didn't say it had to be good face painting.
True.
Just do something.
Any sort of face painting will do, yeah. Spider-Man on all the kids. That'll do. Let's say hello to the couple of people in the building. Amy Clark says, evening, Amy. Stephen Bourne is here. Hope you're keeping well, Stephen. Michael says, hi lads, great to see you. It's great to see you as well, Michael. It's a while since we chatted, buddy. Great to be back on doing a live again. All right, gents, and Dillo. Dillo, how are you actually anyway? Because we haven't really talked to you in a while. We've had you on the lives and stuff like that. How are you keeping? How's the life of Dillo?
Oh, good. Busy being a dad, busy in work. The young lad's birthday was the weekend. Obviously, yourself was down. So, yeah, just trying to tidy up the house. Keep going, as they'd say. But then I got a bit of insight that Jack Harrison was coming back to Leeds. So I had said, I have to go on for this one. I love a good old rant, as Joe just said there as well. So, yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it. But other than that, lads, yeah, I'm actually good. Just eager to see some signings come in the door. And for the season to start, because we are back. And yeah, that's it.
What do you wish it? We have to get a rush on, get your tickets.
I wonder who posted that comment. I've got no idea. Who could that be?
Is that the other Joe B? That's not the you Joe B. That's the other Joe B. That's coming, isn't it?
It's that one that has all the bad takes. And I'm the one that has all the good takes.
Right, let's get into it. The reason why we're here, and it's the news that we've all seen, Jack Harrison will be returning back to Leeds United, maybe only for a short time, but we did see Everton's club statement today basically saying that they won't be looking into signing Jack Harrison or getting him back on loan. Joe B, I'm going to come straight across to you. The reason and the way that Jack Harrison left obviously leaves a bit of a sour taste in all Leeds United fans' mouth. Is it a situation that can be recoverable, that Jack Harrison can be reintegrated back into this Leeds team? Or is it just one of them where we cut ties and say, thanks very much, we need to move you on?
For me, it's become incredibly difficult for him to make the argument that he's a player that should be welcome back in. Because what he's effectively done with this entire situation is leave, and we've seen players leave on loan. That's fine, that happens. Brendan Aronson, for example, left for the year because he could have gotten Champions League football. That's fine, you want to play at a higher level, I understand. But he left without a fuss, and he left without bad-mouthing the club, and he left on relatively good terms. and then came back and was like, no, I'm going to give everything to this club. And then he did, because I think he had the second most minutes of any player in our squad last season. On the other hand, you've got Jack Harrison, who leaves, then badmouths the club after being consistently sort of crap for us in the last season that he was here, and acting like he's sort of above the team. And then the second season that he goes away, his mum starts doing it as well. So it becomes this weird little situation of, okay, so we recognise that at some point, if Everton don't want you permanently, which they probably won't, because last season you've been horrible for them, you've made the environment as toxic as you can for yourself. This is entirely a problem that you have built of your own making, and he's an idiot. Like from a PR perspective, he's a moron, and from a footballing perspective, he's not that great anyway. So I don't see what we'd gain by keeping him around, and it's just a case of trying to find a buyer at this stage for me.
Buyer for him. Dylan, we'll come across to you. What's your thoughts on Harrison? Because it was a player, in fairness, Dylan, that you did like when he was at Leeds. Probably one of your favourite players under Bielsa, and even towards the tail end of Leeds' career was a player that you spoke highly of and a player that you really liked. Do you still think like that? Do you still think he'd be integrated back into this team, or is it just a complete no for you as well, like Joe?
Just going back to what you said there, under Bielsa, that's a completely different player. Same with Bamford, same with Aidan, same with all these players that we got great value and great performances out of week in, week out. But now, like Adrian Carney put it up there, he's a rat. That's what he is.
I was literally just about to say Adrian has a lovely level-headed response to this.
Look, at the end of the day, you could say about Aronson coming back in, Wober, etc. But about Wober, he didn't really do anything for me this season. Aronson did. Do I want him to start number 10 week in, week out? No. Do I see a position for him in the team? Quite possibly. Harrison left on the terms that, as Joe said there, wanted to be bigger and better than the club. With that being said, even when we did keep him, I can't see him getting into this team. With the likes of Ramzani, Nanto, Solomon, and then DJ. So, yeah, I genuinely think selling him would be the best possible outcome. And then, for putting Leeds a bit of funds into the back pocket. But I don't rate him anymore. He hasn't done anything for Everton. All over Twitter, X, you can just see Everton fans just constantly saying, get rid of him. Thank God he's gone, etc. So, if he's not going to do it at Everton, what makes you think he's going to do it here? And look, as I said, I can't see him getting into the starting 11. So, get rid.
Yeah.
But if he did come back and he did maybe put on performances, then you could say, a similar role to what Aronson did. Give us that bit of drive going forward. But yeah, I'll get rid of him if I'm being honest with you.
Joe, it's something that we've talked about the last couple of weeks, and I've obviously heard it on your streams as well. We talk about getting Premier League experience in. Is there not something a little bit there in it that Jack Harrison, that's something that he has, obviously, in the Premier League with us, abundance of Premier League experience with Everton now as well. Is there any chance or any slight opportunity that we could make this work?
For me, there's a gap between Premier League experience and good Premier League experience. So he's been in the Premier League with Everton for 2 seasons, played 63 matches over those seasons, which ain't too bad. He's started about 50 of them, which is, again, decent numbers. But then you look at the numbers of what he's actually done when he's been at Everton, and it is shocking. So the only things he's done above average are the number of, this is compared to other attacking midfielders and wingers. The only thing he's got above average are the number of tackles he's made and clearances he's made. So he can win the ball from time to time and he can huff it long. When last season did we do that? Ever? When it comes to like the important numbers of what we look for with wingers at the moment, worst 16% for passes attempted, worst 3% for passes like completed in terms of a percentage, worst 2% of goals scored, hasn't gotten a single assist over the past year. What else is absolutely terrible in these numbers? Bottom 7% for shots taken. He has basically become a fullback that can't defend very well, which is kind of like, we've got one of those and we're debating whether or not we like do his contract up again. And you know what? I would bet you a significant amount of money that Junior Firpo would be better going forwards than Jack Harrison would at this point, because he's had 2 years of just sort of vibing with Everton, doing nothing of value. And like, just to quickly address what Shane said there, like saying that we're a fickle bunch, Aronson,
I was
Boba,
just about
Nonto
to
spring
pull.
to mind. The difference being, Nonto missed a match because he was having a hissy fit and was a child. Voba went on loan for a season, and yeah, he still gets stick from Leeds fans, but at least he was here for the last season, and when he was away, didn't actively badmouth the club. Same for Aronson. He had the opportunity to play in the Champions League, which obviously you're going to take, but then he came back and he cared, and he put everything that he could onto the pitch. I don't get any sort of suspicion that we'll get anything like that out of Jack Harrison at all.
Do you know what it is as well, though? I think it's, it's probably a weird statement to come out with. It's like going back to, in previous relationships we've been cheated on. Like, he told a story, so why are we going back? But I think, we done so well in the first 2 seasons in the Premier League. In the sense of what we had, and obviously we didn't rebuild. But we can't be going back to these players that didn't do it then. What makes you think they're going to do it now? Sort of narrative. So, yeah, in my opinion, get rid of, gone, good luck, take the money and go for a point.
Well, I don't think he was a bad player though for Leeds, lads. Look, and I don't think anyone can sit here and pretend that he was, because
No,
I know kind of towards the tail end of the season, but I think a lot of them players, John, I think you'll agree as well, it was terrible. Like coming towards under Gracia, Sam Allardyce towards the end, all them players were just absolutely horrendous. But I think in general, like his period at Leeds United was really good, and I actually thought when he went to Everton, I thought he would have done okay there. I thought he would have been able to bring a different sort of style, and it just hasn't seemed to work out from there. But going back to what Shane's comment, and I echo what you say, Joe, the reason why I think Aronson, Vober, Nonto get away with it is because they were actually here and helped get the club back, so they probably have a right to put on the Premier League shirt next season, where I don't think Harrison does, because he hasn't contributed to getting the club back to where it belongs. If he kind of went on that one season like they did, came back last year and helped us get promoted back to the Premier League, you can turn around. He's still going to get the little bit like Aronson does, but I think now it's a lot worse, because like Everton doesn't want you and you're kind of coming crawling back to us when we're good enough for you again, isn't it? It's that sort of vibe. But it's, will Leeds find the right suitor, Joe? That's it, and probably get the right price for him.
I think the price thing is a pretty fair concern, but on the sort of saying that, yeah, he was all right for us when he was here, I've just had a quick glance at his numbers over the past 2 years, because obviously that's going to come into account. That's how he's been playing as of late. In his past 2 years combined, he has as many goal involvements as Helder Costa did for Leeds United in the Premier League, which was not great. And if you consider that he's had 2 years of full, proper, consistent football, and Helder Costa played about 1,000 minutes for us in that first Premier League season because we had Rafinha. Like, sure, people will have good memories of Jack Harrison, but you can't sign a memory. That's like saying, well, we should have Pablo Hernandez right now. Well, no,
Very
because
true.
he's not of the level. And at the same time, I don't think Harrison is of the level. If we are a complete third-party team, if we are Sunderland right now, and you're asked, who would you sign when you're getting promoted to make sure you stay in the Premier League, and you look at what Jack Harrison's done in the past 2 years, do you say, yeah, sure, we'll go for that? Or do you say, actually, that's not brilliant? Because he doesn't improve us in any of our positions. So in terms of like how much we can earn for him, anything we get for him now is FFP profit, as far as I can tell. So I think just go for whatever we can, because we're not getting lots.
Yeah. And Dylan, it obviously comes down, like, we can obviously speak here as fans and say, yeah, we don't want him, but ultimately the decision does come down to the board, and the main one, Daniel Farke, the manager, and he doesn't seem like that type of man, because he obviously got the vibe from Jack Harrison. He didn't want to be here to help the club out. Do you think Daniel Farke would even be open to this idea of bringing Harrison back in?
No, because straight away when Leeds was up in the air and Farke came in, he went through all the contracts, he made it clear that this was an issue in the club and he wanted to sort it out. He's completely honest. Farke came out, in January saying basically, not word for word, but the club were not going to buy any players. And I just genuinely think Farke's this type of person to keep all the negative away from the club as much as possible. And to be honest with you, I love that, because ever since we've been crowned as champions, I'm not going to go into it, but the Rio Ferdinand video, the Ampadu situation, and now there's this, and fans are saying, no, get rid, just do the right thing for the club, do the right thing that will morally invest the club going forward. And that I think that is getting rid of him because we need a clean slate. We need this kind of holding on to the Bielsa era, such as Bamford and stuff. Sorry, move past it and go forward because at the end of the day,
Whoa. Let's okay. Let's
I'm
take
just gonna
a step
sit back
back.
and let Joe take
Take a
this.
step back. Let's not drag the innocent parties into this. One of these people pissed off and started insulting the club. The other person admittedly got injured a hell of a lot, but at least he stuck around. Like,
oh yeah, no, I just mean like there's this new era going forward now for Leeds.
He bottled it,
That's all
Joe.
I
I thought he was gonna go back. Of course
No.
he did because he's getting big wages. He bottled it.
No. Like at the end of the day, I just want all the jaded players that haven't put performance in, or like what Joe said, been injured, or just genuinely don't look or be arsed to be here. Let's be honest. And he's one of them players. So I don't want him here. And
You want
that's
the
it. Like
player,
his
lads.
man doesn't want him
Mealy.
here. He didn't want to be
His
here.
man doesn't want to wear.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying. Like that came out in like imagine that. Like what age is he, Joe? 20,
28.
28 years of age, and his mother's coming out saying he doesn't want to play football. Right, good lad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just go on. Like, look.
And I think it comes back to, lads, doesn't it, that it's us being Leeds fans, is that we have this thing in our head that you live and die for the Leeds shirt, isn't it? And it's because of what he done. He basically refused to play for Leeds and kind of wanted to get out here. And I think that's what this thing is. And probably the exit. Ultimately, we heard what Angus Kinnear said as well, Joe, about Jack Harrison, that he wouldn't be on his Christmas card list. And it's funny how things work out then that he goes to Everton and was probably a
Karma
part of
comes back
saying,
around.
yeah, I'm not staying. He's not staying here. I'm moving him on as well. Would it be?
I mean, it could be. I think with the ongoing sort of vibe that we've got at Leeds, that is saying, let's try and focus on. I mean, you are. Let's try and
bottled it,
focus
didn't
on
he?
having like.
Lads, I'll
really
have this out
good-
now, his man. Come on. Go on.
Lads, too late. You bottled it.
What do you want me to say? What do you want me
Joby
to say?
has you in his back pocket.
Right.
You're done.
The likes of Bamford and all, they're all gone. All them, they're all ancient now, like myself. Good luck. Leave them in the past. This is the new era. All right, that's all I'm trying to say.
So you'd sell Pascal as well?
No, I think Stroke has still has it because he's young. So I just mean the lads that are coming to the end. You know, when Aylan was going, that broke me heart. Darren knew that because I was a Luke Aylan fan. Obviously, with Dallas getting injured and having to retire, Cube's leaving. You know, it's just this kind of been pushed out and all these new players coming in. That's all I mean. But I definitely keep Stroke around. Definitely.
But if it's about youth, Ilan Melier is younger than Pascal Stroke. So I mean, why are we
Well,
not?
Joe, I don't think we need to get into Melier now because I
I
think
know.
he,
I'm trying to back you into a.
you're just trying
corner.
to wind me up a little bit,
Yeah.
and it's working.
It's working and it's great. Enjoy it. You backed yourself into a corner.
Joe, look, I put it this way: I'd put you in there before I put Melier in again. That's the best. That's the truth.
I'll take that, and I'll take his 30 grand a week. Thank you very much.
That would be
Right,
very
can we
nice.
split it?
Would be.
Can we split it?
Michael says here, Joe Allen was a good player under Bielsa. He did a lot for the club when he was here. His mum should have kept her mouth shut. It'd be hard to accept him back. Couldn't care if we sold him to the MLS. And yeah, I think I agree with you there, Michael. Is any kind of suitor for him, would be happy to move him on. Harrison was class under Bielsa, that's facts. But as Dillo says, they are not going back. If we're going to stay in the Prem, we need to be looking at better than Harrison and not carry dead weights. Yeah, agree with that, buddy. This was Sean obviously said about, yeah, if you were going to go back on the likes of memories, sign for Duca. Sean says, Dylan lost his bottle again. Ole, ole. He did bottle it, Dylan. He had you lovely there. What else was I going to say to you boys? Yeah, you were obviously saying about his numbers as well, Joe, but you had a little look at them as well. It doesn't make for great reading at Everton at all. 73 appearances, 5 goals over the course of 2 seasons, only 1 goal this season, and played 34 matches. Is there even going to be a Premier League suit for him? Or like what Michael said, is it return back to the MLS for him?
There's maybe a conversation to be had at something like a Sunderland, as a maybe, this Sunderland squad is still very young. The Sunderland squad it's got a lot of learning to do, and if you can get someone in to fix that at like a relatively reasonable cost, then I don't see why they wouldn't. Like in the playoff final, they played according to Flashscore at least, they played a 4-4-2. They had Chris Rigg on the right wing, at least for a reasonable chunk, and Rigg is not a winger. Rig is significantly more of a central midfielder, so there's maybe a shout that they're a little bit weak out there. But I am currently just grasping at straws to say that maybe there's someone that might want to sign him. But the odds of that feel incredibly low. And on the saying that you're upset what his mother said, Clem, and I know Clem from my own chat, a decent proportion of it isn't just the fact that his mum said something mean. Oh no, what are we gonna do? But it tells you that there's a little bit of a something in the fact that he won't be 100% invested, because you know that members of his family I don't know what you're doing there, which is obviously going to make you doubt things. And we already know that he's not 100% invested because he's had the chance to prove it twice, and he's failed both of those tests.
What do you think is not very professional? I said, I know I'm doing it in a joke way. Like his mom came out saying he doesn't want to play for Leeds. Go away, you child, really.
But he said himself, though, lads, he done a recent interview with Everton as well. I don't know if you've seen it. And he said himself he wants to be part of Everton's future, the new stadium, the new kind of part of Everton's future going into that. And he said himself he wanted to be a part of that. And for me, coming out publicly and saying that, it puts the nail in the coffin, Joe, doesn't it? That you don't want to be here when you're still part of a parent club. You haven't even had them discussions with Everton yet. Even if Everton kind of gave him the inkling, yeah, no, we want you as soon as the season's over, we're going to sign you permanently or loan you back or whatever it may be. You will be coming back here next year. It was a bit strange to come out and say that unless your future was guaranteed at Everton, wasn't it?
In retrospect, it feels a little bit beggy to me. It feels like, no, guys, I want to play. Guys, please. I know you've not put a contract on the table yet, but I mean, I'm probably available next season. Please, someone take me. I want to play football.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, at all. And Everton have basically confirmed we're not having. I've not seen what they've said because, as I mentioned, at the
That
start,
comment's a cracker. Sorry, that comment is a cracker.
I mean, even then, we know that he had a decent first touch, but he wasn't really good at controlling a dribble, so I don't know if he'd spill everywhere. That pun didn't quite work, did it? No.
Yeah, no, I got it. I was gonna come back and say my son, he's dribbling and laughing like he's teething, but that one was even better.
It feels like he was basically saying, I really want to play for Everton because he had to play somewhere, and he knows that he's sort of burned all of the bridges he could possibly have at Leeds.
Yeah, true. And does he even get back into this team? Let's say the worst case scenario is the one that we don't want if he does stay here and he is integrated back into this team. Put the question to both you lads: does he even get in ahead of our Ramazanis, our Nontos, if we do get Solomon back, Dan James? Me personally, no, I don't think he gets in ahead of them. What about you, Dill?
He definitely doesn't get ahead of Solomon and DJ. But just say, for instance, touch wood, if them two boys are injured and you're putting Ramazani on, and Nanto, we haven't seen enough out of Ramazani. We know it's there. He's still developing as a player. And then obviously the Premier League, it's a big jump as well. Nanto's done it, but can he continue to do it, even though he's had up and down kind of sort of season? But you could say to a certain degree, maybe Harrison, he could. But at the end of the day, for me personally, I wouldn't take him. I'd rather just keep the four that we have and maybe even get someone else.
Ollie's Army 71 says he gets in front of Melier. I think a lot to you. Joby, you're going to have to enlighten us on this because obviously being Irish lads, what is Winston's? Or should I be asking that? No, it's one of them. Is that one?
I've not lived in Leeds since I was 18, so I can't help there. That's been 9 years.
9 years.
Jesus.
9 years. Tim says sell Harrison because Solomon gets signed. Because when Solomon signs, we would be fifth choice to play in the wing, and that's what I think as well. I don't think he gets in ahead of what we have here at the minute. Joe, what about you? Anything how he gets in ahead of them four players if it does come down to that he's going to be integrated back in?
For me, the only way that he would see minutes is if we don't sign Solomon, we're down to three wingers, and if we don't have any money to sign a winger, which we know we do, but let's imagine a world in which we don't. So we have to bring him in a panic and say, you're the number 4 now. And then even then, it would require 2 injuries to, at the very least, Nonto, probably Ramazani.
Yeah.
There's not a route there.
Okay. I definitely should have asked that. Okay, Joey, did you know that? Did you leave me down the garden path?
Do you know what's mad? I wouldn't have been able to sleep tonight until I knew what that was.
I was going
gonna
to
do my head in.
say,
So
I was going to have to go Google.
let's just think about the context. I left Leeds when I was 18. Would that have been somewhere that I had chance to frequent at that point?
I don't know. You tell
I
us.
don't know now. You tell me.
There was a big grin on your face when it was mentioned. I think we'll move on from that one. No bench sitters needed. Is he talking about Winston or Jack Harrison? Righteous one says he knew. You knew, Joe. You knew. Joe pretended that he didn't know Winston.
Sure,
Do you
why
know
not?
what it is as well, Shane? I'm completely oblivious to what this is. That
Where is
shows
it?
mine.
Am I joking? Am I joking?
Anyone got the postcode? Right, lads. I think we leave it there. Hold on, Michael says Dylan kept that one quiet. Tabby says both. And Jam is in the middle says, evening lads, late to the party, hope you're all doing well, hope you're keeping well, buddy. Just literally about to wrap it up. Joe, and to say before we wrap it up, buddy, what's happening over on Joe Blackburn's channel?
What's happening over on Joe Blackburn's channel is when I can, I'm doing streams and videos fairly consistently because transfer stuff.
You're busy, aren't you? This is the
That's-
most every time I go on,
yes.
Joe B is on.
That's why I'm saying fairly consistently, because in a couple of weeks' time, and I'm going to plug a charity thing that isn't the charity match. It's great. The Square Ball are doing their charity walk, which is from Newcastle to Leeds over 5 days, which is averaging something like 24 miles a day, something like that. I am on that, which is going to be fun. It's going to hurt, but it's going to be fun. Then immediately after that, it's into the Club World Cup, and immediately after that, it is the Creator Cup. So when I've got time, I'm doing stuff, but tough. That's what we'll
You're doing
say.
a lot. You're doing a lot. This one here, actually, I forgot to bring this up now. Milan game, what are we thinking? Strange one. I thought we might have got an announcement from either club today. Pre-sale tickets are on sale on Ticketmaster tomorrow, Joe. Have you heard that about this? What's going on? Because if your tickets going on sale, clubs haven't announced it. Don't know what's happening here.
I'm going to check something. Okay, so AC Milan did come in the top 8, which means that the match will be going ahead, presumably, if it's right. If they wouldn't have, they would have had to play in the Coppa Italia in that week, which would have caused, I imagine, a few issues, but it should be completely fine, I assume. I feel like it'll be just ironing out various details and stuff, and you got to keep in mind that Serie A finished over the weekend. It's a bank holiday, and a bunch of like club staff on both sides won't necessarily be in work because both seasons are done. So
True.
you might as well take a little bit of holiday whilst you can before the absolute chaos kicks in.
Absolutely love it. Dillo, and I'll say before we wrap it up, bud.
No, that's it, guys. Do. We're still champions.
You have him
Yeah,
speechless,
Lindsay
Joey.
I'm still just thinking about Winston's, if I'm being honest with you.
I know, that's why I said you're in a strip club.
He's thinking about Joe B roasting him about Bamford, and he's thinking about Winston's. He's in a world of his own over there. But that's it from Only Leeds Bros. Thanks very much, everyone, popping in. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Make sure you go get your tickets as well for the Leeds Creator Cup. And thanks very much to Match Bingo. Did forget to plug that as well in this one. Thanks very much to Match Bingo as well for sponsoring Only Leeds Bros. So we chat you all again soon. Mind yourselves and mind each other.